Salutations, world. This is episode 1 of the Chasing Giant Muskie podcast. It's a podcast going over our love of fishing and just love of adventure. We love going after big fish, really targeting muskies. We used to be bass anglers for the longest time, but it just didn't have that pizzazz anymore. Even a 6-pounder didn't really do it for us. We're in the Midwest. But we, somewhat recently went all in on muskie, just really the full chase of that big toothy critter, fish of 10,000 casts, impossible to catch. And, we feel that muskie fishing sucks until you catch one, and then it's one of the best things ever.
You get that special animal on the end of the line is pretty amazing. Catching, good sized bass, it's you catch a fish and it's just a fish. It's still a special fish, but not as special as every single muskie, whether it be 18 inches or 24 inches or 55 inches.
Yeah, the big thing that we want to do with this podcast is combine our love of science with the love of fishing. We want to ask the question why and just really understand it. Today we'll be talking about how important Moon is. We're also going to be touching on the Lady of the Lake tournament in Geneva. We're in the Midwest, so we're mainly going to be focusing on Midwest fisheries, Midwest fishing, but really putting the big focus on muskie. Muskie is where it's at for us, and we're excited to bring just information just so everyone could get a little bit more understanding behind the why, the what, the how, and just certain things that we want to research ourselves and just spread it around with the community.
And just have fun with it. Because that's what it's all about, ultimately.
Absolutely. So, James, tell us what about the Lady of the Lake tournament. What's the name of the tournament now? And let's get into it.
So, funny story about the Lady of the Lake tournament. It's actually one of the sponsors is La Frienda, the bean company, which last year Vince actually won 2 cases, which he thought he won 2 fishing rods, but then he was psyched. He even got a nacho cheese, black beans. He got everything. It was amazing. He still has some.
It has to be 80 pounds. You should have saw me walking into the car. I walked up. There's a if anyone's ever attended the Lady of the Lake tournament, I'm gonna call Lady of the Lake tournament. That's how I know it. I know it's a new sponsor, a new tournament.
It's actually now just to get it out there. Muskies Inc., the Chicagoland Muskie Hunters, is now called the Lake Geneva Muskie Open.
All right, it has a good ring to it. But there's a you fish all day. It's usually around like 9 or 10 hours. Start in the morning, fish all day, and then there's like a little bit of a 2-hour break just to load the boats, and then there's a banquet afterwards where they, it's usually like a fish fry. There's an award ceremony for all the winners, big fish. I think it pays up to top 3 or top 5. And
this year it's top 5.
Is it top 5?
And then big fish pot by the Boathouse.
And then at after that there's a raffle of and James and we go into the raffle each year, try to have fun with it. But I think it was last year where we don't
beans.
We don't drop a lot of money in it, but it was funny because it came up where it was like the grand prize, which was rods. Pretty sure it was St. Croix rods, but they called my name. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I won some rods, and the guy just handed me 2 literal cases of Lafayette beans. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
It was a mixture, however.
It was. At least it wasn't just straight black beans. But the guy handed me 2 cases of beans, and I thought he was messing with me. But he's like, nah, man, it was a runner-up prize. So I'm still eating those still. It's in the basement. But
and I dropped, I don't know how much. It wasn't a ton of money, maybe $100. And I wasn't winning shit for the longest time. And the last 8 drawings, I think I won, and I, probably won $400 or $500 worth of baits. It was fantastic.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna use some of those baits tomorrow. But Jay, so for the tournament tomorrow, what is the plan?
Well, So we're actually staying out right by the water in this beautiful, and I quote, lakefront villa, which it says lake view on it, but let me tell you, you probably have a hard time looking at the lake through binoculars. That's how far we're from it. But it starts at 7. Plan is honestly just to fish our asses off. Um, we have a plan. Don't want to throw it all the way out there, but everybody else is going one way and we're going the other way, fishing which with things that I'm pretty sure they're not going to be fishing with. Just saying. I'm not saying exactly what it is, but definitely got to throw the bucktails. I picked up these new Hunzi tails, which are really cool. I've been really psyched to try to get a fish. Some really cool tubes. And honestly, just fish our asses off, hit up everything. But definitely the water temperature 65 degrees. We'll probably, move up shallow, maybe 5-6 feet of water for a while. If we don't see anything, maybe move in the first break, and then probably hit a couple spots. This is our 3rd consecutive year doing this tournament. First year was awful. We didn't move a fish. We didn't see a fish. We didn't, it was windy and choppy. And Vince was under the impression that you luck into a musky fish, that you luck into one of these things. And then last year we actually got a game plan together, and we ended up we moved probably had to be 20 fish. Some of them were very large. We probably maybe had a chance at 2 of those fish, which is good. Didn't get any fish. I think 3 were caught last year. First place were these brothers that win every year, but they were scopers, snipers, goddammit. And I know one of the guys in the top 3 was trolling. So do with what you will. I don't think that counts, but that's all right.
If you're a scoper, just turn this podcast off right now.
Yeah,
we don't want you listening. We don't want you getting
run
the gas.
Run a hot bath.
Yeah. But we got out fishing today. We moved a couple. Nothing big, but we did move a couple. We didn't fish it hard at all. We wanted to kind of save it for tomorrow morning. We have a solid game plan. We'll go over that after the tournament, how it played out. But big rubber is going to be definitely a part of it. Blades always play a big part, especially in the Geneva tournament. It's the big thing is the water is insanely crystal clear. So that always makes it a little bit difficult. We're also starting middle of the pack. I think we're both 34 or something.
38.
38. All right. But
shout out to both 38.
Shout out to both 38. But we're definitely people that like to zig when everyone zags. Everyone's going to be hitting the flats very hard like they do every year. So we're planning not to do too much with the flats tomorrow. But what do you think it's going to take to win the tournament tomorrow?
Well, it's funny. Every year, if you could get a fish, you're pretty much guaranteed and within the top 5. To win it, I would say probably 42, 43, something like that. And then you're pretty much guaranteed big fish as well. But there's giants in this lake. We, a couple of years ago, we moved some really big ones end of season. Probably at least a 50, if not a little bit bigger than a 50. Saw some really giants, but such pressured fish. It's really hard to get these things to bite. But there are a couple windows tomorrow, which is good for the moon, which we'll probably talk about. And we'll definitely try to be on our A spots between those that time.
Yeah, we're coming off a couple weekends where we done pretty well. We caught a decent muskie each weekend, and it's interesting because certain days, like as with everyone, you move some fish, you see some fish, but we've been putting fish in the boat, which is great. Nothing like groundbreaking, nothing record setting, but fish in the boat is fish in the boat. So, anytime we catch a muskie, we're pumped about it. So hopefully we'll be reporting back and we put one in the boat tomorrow. But if you had to take a bet, what's the size that's going to win it tomorrow?
I would be surprised if it's over 40.
So you're going to say
40 inches.
40 inches, and I'm going to say 43. One single fish is going to win it. I don't think any boat's going to catch more than one. I think first place is going to get a 43, and that's going to be the winner.
With big fish.
And with big fish, and then I feel like anything under that, I think it's going to be, 36 is going to be second place. 33 is going to be
Three
third
fishes
place.
total caught?
3 fish total caught, and three place payout. So
All right.
That's my guess. But the big topic we wanted to talk about today is just understanding moon. So everyone knows about moon, how much of a important, especially if you're a musky angler listening. You know that majors and minors are pretty much make or break it. We plan the day around majors and minors. We along with moon's nothing new, but we wanted to look into where did it come from? How did people figure it out? Why it became such a big part of fishing, especially musky fishing, and it all came from some dude named John Alden Knight, 1926, where he was mainly a saltwater angler.
I personally met the guy.
Yeah, in 1926, which
Yes.
is 60 years before we were born. But
Great guy, though.
yeah, I'm sure. But the big thing is he started analyzing thousands of catch records, moon phase charts, sunrise sunset data, tidal movement tables, and again, this is saltwater, but it does apply to freshwater, just not as severe, just because tides don't move as hard, but you do get a little bit of a movement. But he noticed that all of his big catches throughout the year fell on majors or minors, and that's when the idea became he called it the sol lunar theory, combining the two names, sol, which is sun, lunar, and moon, which is pretty interesting, very creative. But I think it's just amazing that someone that was into fishing was just wanted to get deeper into it and get a more of a full understanding of it. The science is pretty interesting too about it.
Vince took some notes here, which is pretty cool. Knight's theory actually began observational, modern biology, physics, and chronobiology, the study of biological rhythms, all help explain why it works, which is really interesting. So, you could either believe this or not believe this. People say, that's bullshit, and I catch fish all day anyways. But think about when you caught the true giants. Let's say you're a bass fisherman, you've been fishing for 8 years, and in the Midwest, 6-pounder's a giant, and you could catch 3-pounders all day. But think about that one fish you caught, and it was a true giant. It's like a very odd fish for what you catch normally. And chances are, if you look, you're going to be in the middle of a major or a minor, post frontal, pre-frontal, but it's crazy because even when I don't pay attention to the moon, or we don't pay attention to the moon, you look later on and you're like, holy shit, that was at the end of a minor, and you didn't even pay attention to it. But it's really crazy. So I guess reading through the notes is that the moon actually changes the pressure of the water, which is really interesting. And also, if the moon is out, if the moon is down, moon underfoot, head, moon underfoot, the water clarity changes, the water angles change, and also pressure, which blows my mind because I always thought it was just the fish see the moon and they don't like the moon, almost like a werewolf or something. But they just, it's all pressure to them, which blows my mind.
Yeah, the cool thing too is when we were like really deep diving this, it all came down to, so the big thing that I didn't know is research shows that muskie eat either daily or bi-daily. So through focusing on the moon generally like kind of resynchronizes their metabolism basically, which kind of gives them a little bit more of a jolt to eat. That hey, I need to eat now. Almost kind of like when we're hungry and we go for a burger or something like that. But and that's why it's so impactful since muskie are such a hard fish to catch. They eat once a day or every other day, which even limits it. So, focusing on those majors and minors when their metabolism resets and just kind of give that urge often is the difference between success and failure. The big thing, too, is light and visibility. So, when it's full moon, they eat more at night because of a little bit more light in the water, so they could target bait fish. But when it's new moon, they're more likely to eat during the day, just because it's a little bit more harder to hunt in the evening, which I found very interesting. Most tournaments that we do are in the daytime, so obviously we're not
Actually,
fishing at
all
night.
of them.
Yeah, exactly. Which maybe, hey, maybe that's an idea. Maybe we should do host a night tournament. That'd be pretty cool. Don't take our ideas. Come to our first night tournament.
Insurance on that might be a real bitch, though.
That's true. That's true. But the other there's a few other things that that was pretty interesting. So as we said that there was greater tidal evidence, more like shifts in saltwater, but it does affect freshwater bodies of water. Often just moving bait. If you see bait, there's big fish around, and what eats big fish? Muskie. So they're wolves kind of surrounding the packs. But the big implications are muskies generally shift from neutral to active during majors and minors. They generally move to shallower positions along structure and edges. One big thing that we like to do is fish weed edges. Most people target weed edges no matter what species you're following, but weed edges, especially early fall, like it is right now. Right now it's mid October. The weeds are still alive. The water temperature is just starting to drop with the last 2 weekends being pretty cold. We've had a late fall, which is kind of like pushing it out, but they're really starting to get charged up right now.
Water temperature was 65 degrees today. So it's like the weed edges are almost like, in my opinion, more like a highway, going from deep to shallow, shallow to deep, vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's interesting just because how different fishing conditions is year to year. I know the last Lady of the Lake tournament, we were in winter hats, winter coats. It was freezing, and tomorrow it's going to be average 75. It was supposed to storm pretty hard tomorrow, but
Might get a little rain,
yeah, luckily it doesn't seem like we're going to get hit with most of the storm.
but it keeps off all the pussies.
Exactly. We know a couple friends that aren't attending just because they sit when they pee. But hey, no,
Scared to death, poor souls.
it's 2025. They could do whatever they want.
Little chop on the water, 1 inch, 2 inches off the water.
True. Which hey, it's more fish for us. But the big thing, in summary about the solar and lunar is take note of when you catch your big fish, that unicorn fish. We like to make notes, just kind of what we were throwing, just general notes of what when what the moon was like, when was the major, when was the minor, what was the temperature, water temp, stuff like that. More often than not, you're going to catch your big dogs when there's a major or minor.
But some say, so Here's an interesting thought. So now, if you're always paying attention to majors, minors, or anything like that, and let's say you're out there in between 4 and 5 p.m., there's a major. Some people say you get to that 4 o'clock, but then you start fishing a little harder. I'm not sure if that's something to do with it. You're paying attention more, and you're almost like going through the motions up until that major minor point. But honestly, I feel like fish like that all day, and you'll probably catch more fish. But then also during those major minors, it will likely coincide with your biggest catches, which is interesting.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. So I know I'm guilty of it too because I usually focus on the major minor so much that
Especially after
I'll
his mid-afternoon nap.
exactly. I fish hard during that major minor, usually about an hour after it, and then I'm like, all right, well, that kind of burnt out my chances, and I get a little discouraged, especially if I didn't see anything during that time. But granted, in my defense, generally a lot of my bites do come from that period, but it kind of goes back to, am I fishing it harder? Am I putting more focus? Am I going to my best spots during that time? In am I just kind of throwing my favorite baits during that time? Uh, which is an interesting thought. I feel like if I don't I feel like the later the day goes though, up until noon, fishing gets tougher, and then at that tipping point, fishing generally gets better. And I do feel
Up
like
until sundown.
yeah, absolutely. I do feel like most people will agree with that. But it's interesting just because I track a lot of bass. Granted, I know this is a musky podcast, but I track
Giants are giants.
that's true. It is true. But I track a lot of like bass information, and it's surprising the amount of just unicorn fish people catch at like 12 or 1. Where most of the time I'm off the water having lunch so I could go back out later. But it's a really interesting concept. I feel like no matter the time, there's fish to be caught, and especially if you're setting yourself up in your favorite spots with your just old trusty lures. Your baits that you just have complete confidence in. But uh, I think the deciding factor is just time on the water.
And
But
keep yourself excited.
yeah, and but the big thing is just I feel like lunar activity just gives you that edge, just that little something extra that just kind of is a deciding factor between having that unicorn fish in the net or just having no action all day.
And it's crazy. I don't care how many muskie I see. If it's a 12-inch, 20-inch or whatever. Every time I see a muskie, I get excited. The same amount of excitement as a giant or a little tiny 20-incher, which Vince loves to catch.
Hey, I'm okay catching anything, honestly. But we'll report back if we catch like a 55 or something. I guarantee that's going to ruin our lives and just push us off the deep end.
I'll go into retirement real early. And I just wanted to point out during this podcast, Vince was sipping on this really awesome Basic Bear 2025 bourbon barrel aged. Listen to this. Bourbon barrel aged pumpkin spice latte imperial stout.
In my defense, when I bought that, I didn't realize it was a pumpkin spice, but it hits hard. It's
Vince is
very
one
good.
of those basic bitches.
It's not bad. I thought it was gonna. After I heard that it was a pumpkin spice latte, I had some questions.
As
but,
he's sitting here, he's a red flannel on Ugg boots
not true. Not true. I'm butt ass naked. No,
from the Basic Bear beer.
no, it actually hits pretty good. There's we have the Hawks playing in the background. They're not winning yet, but I've somehow switched to what is this?
Spike
Squash?
ball.
Spike ball. If you're a spike ball fan, let us know because we want to get an idea of what the spike ball community, how big it is.
Samsung TV has it on for free right now.
Yeah, but yeah, that's about it. We're excited to hit the water tomorrow. We're hoping to report back with a top 3 placement. But we're absolutely going for the win. But they put on a good event every year. It's the launch is great. It's generally a lot of really passionate people that it's one of the type of crowd when you talk to them that all they do is chase muskie. And I mean, it's pretty much exactly what we do too. So it's like-minded.
Now for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely now. Before we were definitely chasing pretty much anything that swims, but we're really off the deep end with muskie. But
Lake Geneva is a hard lake to fish. It's so clear, it's ridiculous. It's you could be in 40 feet of water and see the bottom, and it's hard to sneak up on a muskie.
yeah, but it's a cool event no matter what. Even if we don't catch anything, which like we have most years,
We better win some goddamn raffles. That's
Yeah,
all I gotta say.
exactly. But it's cool because they switched over to having like a fish fry, a lot of prizes to win.
Last year the food was good,
Yeah,
good as hell.
yeah, and a couple. If anyone's listening from Lady of the Lake, good on you for switching to the good food. Years past,
None of that bullshit.
I couldn't say it was good food. But the raffle's always fun. We always have a good time with it. If you don't win anything, it goes to stocking programs for Geneva and I think it's surrounding lakes, but I think
It's all
mainly-
Geneva.
Okay, but yeah, it's cool that at least it's going towards something. But a lot of cool people.
This is going to be a killer muskie fishery in, say 10 years time. And, ever since the tournament, it seems like the muskie fishing has been improved. During the tournament, they don't catch a ton of fish, but the fish they do catch are very healthy, very fat, and vicious, how we love them.
Absolutely. Well, that's mainly it for us. But yeah, appreciate you guys listening. We'll definitely report back with how we did in the tournament. What worked, what didn't. Hopefully, we're holding a trophy in the next 24 hours. But and we hope the Hawks win tonight against the Canucks. I think they're playing, which not the best team.
And all I got to say is fuck you, Mike Philumley.
Love you, Mike. This is from Vince. But yeah, wish us luck. We'll get on the air sometime soon talking about the tournament. But appreciate you listening. And hope we get that elusive 50 plus tomorrow. Unlikely, but we'll see what happens.
Griff's out.